Hello, today I want to talk about establishing good patterns with horses. They're very good pattern learners, and sometimes we just miss what they're picking up and what is becoming a pattern and therefore becomes a habit. This horse, you can see she's stopping and she's raising her head. Now, I hadn't asked her to stop, and there she's raised her head quite a lot. What's going to happen if I don't address that is that behavior, because she's got a release from that behavior by raising her head, is going to turn into a pattern which becomes a habit for her. And if I don't address that now, it's going to quite quickly lead to rearing, because if I keep her under bit pressure, for example, when she's raising her head like that, she's either going to start backing up because she's got nowhere else to go, or she's going to start lifting her front feet. And you could see right at the beginning there, she's actually already weighting her hind end a bit. And this is the pattern that's developing. So what I do is I come back to the ground and I reinforce forward, because what's going wrong? We often think, oh, the horse is naughty, she's threatening to rear. Well, no, the horse isn't naughty. The horse has just found a release of pressure. And so what I need to do is teach the horse something new. Well, so what is the horse not doing? The horse is not going forward when she's asked to go forward. So I want to establish a new pattern. I like to have three things. So rather than just bang the horse with my legs, I give the horse a verbal cue first. So one cluck I use for walk, I use two clucks for trot, and I use a kiss for canter. So those are my cues. Now here I've just asked her to do this. She's stopped, she's raised her head. My first cue is going to be a verbal cluck, and then I'm just going to touch her with my leg, and then I'm going to touch her with the whip. So I've done the same thing on the ground. What I've done, because I don't have leg on the ground, I've given her a cluck, and then I've raised the whip so she can see it, and then I've touched her with the whip. And there you can see I released the rein. I made a big fuss of her for walking forward. If you repeat this a few times, the horse goes, oh my goodness, that's really easy. All I have to do is walk forward. And try not to assume the horse is being naughty. Try to assume that the horse has a bad pattern set up. And so we just need to change that pattern. If you can give the horse three cues, so here I'm going to make a verbal cue, a cluck, whatever yours might be, and then I'm going to just touch with my leg, and then I'm going to raise the whip and then touch with the whip. So nothing is a surprise. What that does is it makes the horse much more responsive. So if the horse stops and I just give it a big kick, then the horse is going to desensitize to leg, or, run away. Either way, it's not a good thing. I want a horse to be really responsive. I think we spend way too much time desensitizing horses to things. I think we need to sensitize them. So good patterns are absolutely essential. So if you have three cues, so you verbal cue, a touch with the leg, raising the whip, the horse has those three opportunities to respond before it feels any real pressure, which might be the whip tapping. As riders, we all know that things don't always go according to plan. But having a plan, a system, a program that follows a step-by-step process is no doubt the best way to really make a difference with your riding, training, and your horse's performance, not to mention your relationship with your horse. Whether you're planning on competing, trail riding, or simply having a great relationship with your horse on the ground, then you need regular, structured lessons, each with an aim and a clearly defined, achievable outcome. The Can-Do Equine online training system is exactly this. Not only do the lessons build on one another, giving you a solid foundation, but I carefully discuss possible problems. It's not all perfection and pretty pictures, it's real life. It's always nice to have a trainer or a coach standing in the middle of the arena, but few of us can afford such a luxury on a regular basis. And there comes a time when we realize that In order to make real progress, that we must first recognize what's not right and then learn how to address that ourselves. The fact is that you know your horse better than anyone. And once you start training your horse yourself, the only thing you're going to wonder is why you didn't start years ago. So come on, let's get you back in the saddle and put the fun back into your horsemanship.